Okay. So our topic for today is all about amines, and I want you to remember that amines is an organic compound that contains our amino group. Amines is different from amides because amides contains carbon double bond with oxygen, or it contains oxygen. While for amines, it only contains amino group. In amides, it contains amino group, or it has an amino group, and aside from that, no, aside from amino group, amides also contain your carbonyl group or your carbon double bond. Our objectives or our outcomes for this lecture is to name amines, discuss the physical and chemical properties of amines, as well as to predict the product of amines that undergoes a reaction. All right, to start with, let us first discuss the basic structures and classification of our amine. If you still remember our discussion in alcohol, there is what we call primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohol. And if we are going to review that, we said that a primary alcohol is an alcohol wherein the carbon that holds the hydroxyl group is attached, no, with one carbon only, and the rest is your hydrogen. A secondary alcohol is a alcohol wherein your hydroxyl group, the carbon that holds your hydroxyl group, is attached with two other carbon. And our tertiary alcohol, no, is the one with three other carbon or alkyl group, no, attached on the carbon that holds our hydroxyl group. That is also true with our amine, wherein we have our primary amine, our secondary amine, and our tertiary amine. But this time it's a different way around, because in alcohol we look for a carbon that holds our hydroxyl group and how many carbons are attached on it in order for us to identify it as primary, secondary, or tertiary. In case of amine, our point here is how many alkyl groups are attached in our nitrogen. I repeat, how many alkyl groups are attached in our in our nitrogen rather. Okay? In this one, we have your methylamine. Methylamine is a primary amine because there is only one alkyl group attached in our nitrogen. Dimethylamine is a secondary amine because there are two amines attached on our nitrogen. And tertiary amine is trimethylamine because there are three, no? There are three methyl group attached in our nitrogen. Again, in alcohol, we look for the number of carbons attached to the carbon that holds our hydroxyl group. But in amines, we are going to take a look on how many alkyl groups are attached on the nitrogen itself, since this is our functional group. Now, as you've noticed and as you can see, as the attachment into nitrogen increases, no, it loses your hydrogen. In primary amine, nitrogen has two hydrogen. In secondary amine, your amine lose one hydrogen and it only have no it left with only one hydrogen present. While for your trimethyl or tertiary amine, no, you don't have any more hydrogen attached to your nitrogen, but instead you have your methyl group. If we are going to discuss and if we are going to recall the ability of nitrogen to form a covalent bond, we said that nitrogen is capable of forming three covalent bonds. However, there are one unshared electrons of nitrogen, no? And this one unshared electrons, kapag po nag-accept siya, will make our nitrogen unstable. Aside from aliphatic, this is your aliphatic, no? This is your aliphatic amine. And when we said aliphatic amine, your amino group, okay, your amino group is attached in an aliphatic chain of carbons. Ibig sabihin, a long chain of carbon. Or in other words, your amino group is attached with alkyl group. This is an example of aromatic amine. Okay? Why aromatic amine? Because it bears your aryl group. No? It bears your aryl group, or it is attached in aryl group. And when we said aryl group, this is your arene. And as we remember and as we all know, the simplest arene that we could have is your benzene. And we said also that arene is a aromatic. Okay? That's why these three are considered as your aromatic amine. Now, having said that the classification of your amines is primary, secondary, and tertiary, that is also true with your aromatic amines, no? Primary amine, secondary amine, and tertiary amine. Okay? As you can see in this illustration, your amino group is attached to one carbon atom. And if that is so, that is considered your primary amine. This carbon is attached with two carbon, and that is your secondary amine. And this amine, now we have three carbon atoms attached to your nitrogen, that is your tertiary amine. Now, I am sure that you have noticed that there is a letter N before the name methylaniline. And what is the indication of this letter N? The indication of this letter N will signify or indicate, no, that there is a methyl group attached in our amino group. We will discuss that in the next few slides. We also have what we call heterocyclic aliphatic amines, and we have heterocyclic aromatic amines. What do we mean by heterocyclic aliphatic amine? When we said heterocyclic aliphatic amine, that is an amine that bears a cyclic form with unsaturated carbon bonds. Okay, with saturated, I'm sorry, with saturated carbon bonds. It means it has no carbon-carbon double bond. Okay? All carbons present in heterocyclic aliphatic amines bears a carbon-carbon single bond with all the carbons present in this compound. On the contrary of that, we have your heterocyclic aromatic amine, and from the word itself, aromatic, there is what we call the presence of your aromatic ring, and as we all know, aromatic ring bears a carbon-carbon double bond. To make it short and simple, in heterocyclic aliphatic amine, your amino group is part of the cyclic form, and the cyclic form does not contain a carbon double bond. In heterocyclic aromatic amine, your nitrogen is part of the cyclic form, and aside from that, there is a presence of carbon-carbon double bond. This is your pyridine, and this is your purine. I want you to take note that this is your purine. And what is the significance of your purine? If you still remember your biology class when you were in high school, junior high school or senior high school, no, your teacher introduced to you the purine. Purine is the basic substance, the basic backbone of our DNA material, okay, which is an amine. Now, how are we going to name our amines? Nomenclature of amines follows the same rule as of your alcohol, wherein you are going to omit the final E of the parent alkane and you will add the name amine. And it is also important for us to take note that we have to find the longest chain of carbon atom, and we have to start on the carbon that is nearer to our functional group. In this case, no, on that case, we'll be able to indicate the lowest possible number that could give us the location where is our functional group. The same thing with alcohol. It is important for you to remember, no, that you have to indicate the location of your amino group. Do not forget to indicate. Do not forget to locate your amino group. Now, let's have an example. In this case, we have to find the longest chain of atom or carbon atom. And in that case, that will be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The longest chain of carbon is 3, and that will be your propane. Having said that in the rule, we are going to omit the final E. No? We are going to omit the final E, okay? And then add the word amine. That will be your propanamine. Okay? That will be your propanamine. And as said in the rule, we have to locate the location of our amino group, then we use number. That will be your 2. And that means that you have your amino group on your carbon number 2. How about this one? This is a cyclic fork, all right? And if we are going to name it without this one, this is your cyclohexane, okay? But since we have here your NH2, this will be your cyclohexanamide, okay? This will be your cyclohexanamide. All right, I'll go back to this one. There are some references or books that will tell you that the name of this compound is your 2-amino-propane. Okay, there are some books that will tell you that the name of this organic compound is your 2-amino-propane. I will not contest on that. That is acceptable. However, it means that your NH2 is just an attachment of your alkane. But if you still remember our discussion in terms of the level of priority, we said that amine is superior than your alkane. Therefore, it will be right to name it as your parent, as your functional group, instead of naming it as your substituent or your attachment. I am not saying that this is incorrect. I am not saying that this is not acceptable. But what I am trying to emphasize on this note is that we have a level of priority. And a level of priority, amine, is superior than your alkane. Therefore, it will be right to name it as your functional group aside from or instead of naming it as your substituent. Your cyclohexanamine, this can be named as your uh, 1-amino cyclohexane. But still, no, I prefer or we prefer to use this name because this IUPAC name indicates that the functional group is your amine. Now, how about for there are 2 amino group present? In alcohol, we use diol, or triol. We will also use the prefix di and tri to indicate that there are 2 for di and there are 3 for tri. And how are we going to name this one? First things first is again, we have to count the longest chain of carbon atom that is present in our aliphatic or in our chain. Having said that there are 6, no? There are 6 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And 6 is named as your hexane. Okay? We have 2 amino group on carbon number 1 and carbon number 6. Therefore, that will be 1, comma, 6, dash. We retain the name hexane. Again, we retain the name hexane. We add the prefix di and the word amine. And that is your 1,6-hexane diamine. Okay? So that is how we name our aliphatic, no, amines. Now, how about for aromatic amine? No, for aromatic amine. If you still remember, this one is your aniline. No, this is the special name for this compound. You can actually name this as your amino benzene. But since the IUPAC name retains the common name or the special name of some of the low molecular weight benzene or arene, then it will be appropriate to name it as your aniline. Remember, a benzene ring with your amino group is named as your aniline. This is your special name and you're considered, no, as your IUPAC name. Since a UPAC system retains the common name or the special name, no, of some of the benzene derivatives. Now I want you to take note and remember that your aniline is the simplest aromatic amine that we could have. And having said that this is the simplest aromatic amine that we can have, and if we are going to classify this, this is an example of a primary amine because there are only one carbon attached to our nitrogen. Now, what if there are two attachments? No, there are two attachments in our aromatic ring. Remember that this is a benzene ring. And in benzene ring, we use the Greek locators ortho, meta, para. Ortho, if the location is 1 and 3. Meta, ortho for 1 and 2. Meta for 1 and 3. And then para for 1 and 4. Having said that we have to use para for 1 and 4, in this case, we name it as 4-nitroaniline. Why 4-nitroaniline? We have attachment on carbon 1, which is your amino, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? On carbon number 4, we have here your nitro group. Okay? So I have a question. Again, paano po tayo magka-count in your benzene ring? Is it always counterclockwise or is it always clockwise? The answer on that is there is no constant format in naming your or in counting your carbon in your benzene ring. What is important thing to remember is whether you count it counterclockwise or you count it clockwise. At the end of the day, you have to consider the lowest possible number that you could give to your location. In this case, if we are going to count it clockwise, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, carbon number 4. If we are going to count it on a counterclockwise motion, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and still we have your location at carbon number 4. Having said that we have location on carbon number 1, or attachment rather, on carbon number 1 and carbon number 4, then we use the prefix or we use the locator para nitroaniline. Now, this is much more acceptable than this one. This is acceptable, pero it will be best if you are going to name it this way. Sir, I have a question. Why is it not named as 4-nitro-1-aniline? Remember what I've said a while ago, no, there is no need to indicate the location of your amino group in a cyclic form, provided that there is only one amino group present on your nitro form or present in your cyclic form. So ibig sabihin, hindi na kailangan pang ilagay yung 1 because it is understood that in your cyclic form, your carbon number 1 bears your amino group. How about this one? This is your aniline again. no, your simplest aromatic amine. And on carbon number 3, okay, there is an attachment. This is your methyl, 3-methyl aniline, okay? Or simply your meta-toluidine. Now you might wonder why this becomes your toluidine, okay? This is actually because if we don't have here your amino group, this is your fluorine, all right? And then with your amino group, we fuse the name of methyl of your toluene and your aniline to make it meta-toluidine. Now I have questions, sir. Why meta? Okay, because if we are going to count it on a clockwise motion, it will give us carbon 1 and carbon number 3. Now, this is the application of what I am telling a while ago. If you're going to count it on the counterclockwise motion, that will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Therefore, kapag pa-counterclockwise, 5 higher than your 3, which means instead of counting on a counterclockwise, we have to count on a clockwise motion to give the lowest possible number. That would be your 3-methyl aniline, or better yet, name it as your meta-toluene. All right. Now, a while ago, you saw that there is a name or the name of one of your secondary aromatic amine or secondary cyclic amine bears N, no, on their name. Now, what is the indication of this one? If you still remember, no, if you still remember, in our previous discussions, if there are attachments, no, if there are attachments, let's say for example, on carbon number 1, there are 2 hydroxyl group. Okay, we name it as 1,1. Okay, 1,1 dihydroxy. Okay, dihydroxy. If we have attachment on carbon number 2, 2 chlorine, no, we name it as, let's say for example, this is carbon 2, we name it as 2,2 dichloro to indicate that there are 2 attachments, no, there are 2 chlorine or chlorine atom attached to the carbon number 2. This time, instead of locating the number or using the number, what we are going to use is our N. And we can only use this one for unsymmetrical tertiary and secondary amines. I repeat, you will only use N or NN for unsymmetrical secondary or tertiary amine. Let's have an example. Without this one, this is your aniline, right? Without the attachment CH3. However, we have another carbon attached or alkyl group attached in our nitrogen. Therefore, the name will be N-methyl as an attachment to your nitro group aniline. Okay, this is your N-methyl aniline, one word. How about this one? There are 2 alkyl groups attached into your uh, nitrogen. No, that will be N, comma, N dash, dimethyl, okay, dimethyl dash cyclopentanamide. Okay, I'm sorry, pentanamine rather. Okay, cyclopentanamide. Again, we have here NN. The significance of putting here N and here N, no, is an indication that there is a alkyl groups, other alkyl groups attached in your nitrogen. Remember, you will only use that for unsymmetrical, no, unsymmetrical amines, unsymmetrical secondary and tertiary amine. Now, remember guys that you have to write the N in capital letter, okay? It should be in capital letter, it should be italicized. Why capital letter? Capital letter because this N is the uh, element symbol for your nitrogen. At hindi naman small n ang nitrogen, right? So we have to use capital N. Now, I'm giving you another example. Okay? So what will be the name of this organic compound? Again, this is a tertiary amine because there are three carbons attached to your nitrogen. This will be named as your NN dicyclohexyl. This is your ethanamine. Okay, that is your NN dicyclohexyl ethanamine. Okay, we use NN instead of 1,1, 2,2, and so on and so forth. NN indicates that this cyclohexyl is attached to your nitro group. We also have common names. No, for common names, we use the we count the number of carbon. 1, 2, 3. Propane, we use the alkyl name that will be propyl plus the word amine. Almost similar with alcohol, right? This is your carbon 1, carbon 2. This is your ethanol. And the common name of ethanol is carbon 1, carbon 2 is ethyl plus the word alcohol. No? Yung pinagkaiba nga lang here, we have space. And this one, it is one word. How about this one? Okay? If you're going to give the IUPAC name of this amine, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 butanamine. No? 2 butanamine. And the common name of this compound is, since we have 4, that will be butyl amine. And what is the indication of 2? Secondary, second carbon, we have your amino group. This one is your dimethylamine. This is actually the IUPAC name and considered as your special name or common name. Why diethyl? 1, 2, 1, 2. Ethyl, ethyl, and then methyl. Now, sir, I have a question. Bakit po hindi ginawang NN? Okay, NN, diethyl, and methyl amine. Now, remember, you can only use NN for unsymmetrical, secondary, and tertiary tertiary amines. This one is simply as your cyclohexamine. Okay? And that is the UPAC name, cyclohexamine. This is the IUPAC name. And the common name is cyclohexylamine. Okay? Cyclohexylamine. One of the most important reactions or product of our amine chemical reaction is the formation of what we call amine salt. Amine salt is a union or a product of our amines and our acid. Remember that amines is considered as base. Generally, no, generally, amines is considered as a weak base. But in terms of organic compounds of all organic bases, amines can be considered as your strong base. Sorry, ano daw? Medyo nalito po ako doon. I repeat, if we are going to discuss the general, no, the general bases, which includes your inorganic base and your organic base, we can say that your amine is a weak base as compared to the basicity of your inorganic bases. Example, sodium hydroxide, a strong base. Potassium hydroxide, a strong base. All right. Next is, if we are going to compare the basicity of amines as compared to all organic compounds or organic bases, we can say that amine is a strong base. Okay? Generally, weak base ang ating amines. But kung ang pag-uusapan po natin ay tungkol lamang sa mga organic compound bases, amine is considered a strong base. Ngayon, having said that this is a base and the reaction of base and an acid will give you a salt. This is an example of a base or amine salt. No? This is an example of an amine salt. Okay. Later, I'm going to discuss on how amine salt is formed. No? For the meantime, it will be better no to understand how are we going to name it. Remember guys that the suffix amine kapag naging salt will be replaced by ammonium. The name aniline will be replaced by anilium. And the name pyridine will be replaced by pyridinium. Okay. Ito pong trimethyl ammonium chloride that is originally your triethyl amine. That is originally your trimethyl amine. Pinalitan, ginawang ammonium, and then chloride since this is a salt. Don't worry, as I said, I'm going to discuss that later. Ngayon, I want you to remember, what I want you to remember in this part is the name amine will be changed into ammonium, the name aniline will be changed into anilium, and the name pyridine will be changed into pyridium. Let's discuss first the physical properties of our amines. Remember guys that your amines, remember that amines is a polar covalent bonds, And aside from that, mamaya pa pala yun, ito pala muna, remember that amines, the low molecular weight amines, okay, low molecular weight amines has what we call a strong, sharp, very sharp, penetrating odors. Penetrating odors. Okay? Sharp, strong, penetrating odors. Tandaan, yung low molecular weight amines ay mayroong strong, sharp, penetrating odors. Kung babalikan natin, yung pong aromatic hydrocarbons natin, sabi natin, it has a uh, aromatic odor, no? Meron siyang mabangong amoy, but not all ay mayroong pleasant odor. Meron ding mga unpleasant odor sa ating aromatic hydrocarbons. Ating arin. Okay? Meron tayong mga mababango or pleasant odor at meron din naman tayong unpleasant in our aromatic hydrocarbons. But for your amines alone, no, yung mga amines natin, penetrating odor, sharp odor, mabaho, in other words. Well, almost similar with thiols because thiols contains a sulfur. It's the reason why yung mga thiols naman medyo mabaho din, no? Because of the disulfide bonds or the sulfide bond. Okay? So, having said that our low molecular weight amines has a strong or foul penetrating odor, what are some of those low molecular weight amines which has a strong penetrating or foul odors? Number one is this organic compound. Can you guys name this organic compound? If you're going to name this organic compound, methyl, 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 3-methyl, that will be your trimethyl plus the word amine, edi trimethylamine. Now what is with trimethylamine? Trimethylamine, take note of this, no? Trimethylamine is a urine constituent or can be found in a urine, no? And it causes rotting fish odor of urine, no? It causes rotting fish odor of urine. In other words, yung amoy ng urine mo na medyo amoy, nabubulok na isda. And that condition is what we call trimethylaminuria. Trimethylaminuria. Yan. Nuria means urine. Presence of trimethylamine in the urine and causes rotting fish odor. A low molecular weight amine with a smell like nabubulok na isda. Now, how about the other two? We have here your 1,4-butane diamine. So, why is it named as 1,4-butane diamine? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Carbon 1, carbon 4, carbon 1, carbon 4, we have your amino group. So 1, 4, retain the final or retain the parent name, butane, and add diamine. Okay, having said that this is your 1,4-diamine or 1,4-butane diamine, commonly known as your putrescine. Putrescine. Hindi po ito mura or hindi po ito yung sinasabi kapag ikaw ay nagagalit, but a smell, no? A organic compound found on a decaying body. Okay? Doon po sa mga dead body. And why is putrescine ay napo-form? Putrescine is formed from the decarboxylation, no? Decarboxylation of amino acids. Or what is amino acid? Amino acid is a molecule that can be found in the urine, that can be found, in the urine, or it can be found in the body, no, in our body. We have essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Amino acid is contain, it contains your amino group and your carboxylic group. Okay, that's why its name is amino acid. Okay, to put this in from the carboxylation of amino acids, meaning to say, na-lose na po ng amino acid yung kanyang carboxyl group. It is left with your amino group. 2 amino groups. No? And nakikita po itong decarboxylation ng amino acids from tissue decomposition. So, nabubulok na ang iyong katawan, na naaagnas na. Now, the same thing with your cadaverine. Now, cadaverine, 1,5-pentane diamine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1,5-pentane diamine cadaverine, and this is a foul smell, no? A foul smell diamine from the body, or from the body of a decaying material. From nabubulok, no? And to make it a medical term, this is produced, no? Produced by putrefaction. Again, hindi nyo naman po ako dito nagmumura, ha? No? Hindi po ito mura, no? Yung putrefaction, ito po yung ating medical term sa mga nade-decompose na animal tissue, nade-decompose na laman ng tao, nade-decompose na laman ng hayop. Kaya po kapag patay at hindi agad na preserve, hindi nalagyan ng formaldehyde, which is your aldehyde, ay di nabubulok agad at nagkakameron ng what we call production of your 1,5-pentane diamine cadaverine, at nagpuproduce po yan through what we call putrefaction. Okay? Next, how about the solubility of our amines? If we are going to discuss the solubility of amines, we can say that amines is a polar covalent bonds. No? A polar covalent bonds because of the difference between the electronegativity of hydrogen and your nitrogen. Remember guys that your nitrogen carries a partial negative charge and your hydrogen carries the partial positive charge, which make it possible to have our hydrogen bonding. Okay? To make it possible to have a hydrogen bonding. Remember people that your amine is soluble in water because both of them are polar covalent bonds. Later, we'll discuss the solubility in water, no, as compared to the solubility of alcohol. But what is important, no, aside from the solubility, is the boiling point. We have here ethane, we have here ethanol, and we have here your methylamine. If you are going to take a look with the molecular weight, they are almost the same. This is what we call of the same molecular weight. So we are going to compare the boiling point of our amines into alkanes and alcohols of the same molecular weight. Not literally similar or not literally exact, no? Hindi pare-parehas na 30.30, 30.30, and so on and so forth. But when we said of the same molecular weight, they are on the same range of the molecular weight. In that case, our ethane is 30.1 molecular weight. Our amine or methylamine is 31.1, and our alcohol or methanol rather, this is methanol, I'm sorry, our methanol is 32.0. The boiling point of your ethane is negative 88.6. The boiling point of amine is negative 6.3. The boiling point of your methanol is 65. Now, what will be the conclusion? The conclusion is this one. Listen, alkane has a lower boiling point as compared to your amine. Alkane has a lower boiling point as compared to amine. Amine has a lower boiling point as compared to alcohol of the same molecular weight. In other words, the boiling point of amine is higher than the boiling point of alkane. The boiling point of amine is lower than the boiling point of your alcohol. That is our conclusion. And that is true with the boiling point of our amine. I hope you can follow. This is what I am telling a while ago. Your amine is soluble in water. No? Remember that all classes of amines, regardless of primary, secondary, or tertiary amine, they are all soluble in water. Actually, they are more soluble in water than hydrocarbons. However, however, as the molecular weight of amines increases, the solubility in water decreases. Kanino na siya narinig? Kanino na narinig yung as the molecular weight increases, the solubility decreases. Narinig natin siya, we heard that in our alcohol. Ibig sabihin, low molecular weight amines are highly soluble or completely soluble in water. The same thing with the solubility of alcohol with low molecular weight. Okay? Pero pag tumaas na yung kanyang molecular weight, nababa na din ang kanyang solubility. I want you to take note of that. Please remember. Again, I said that your amines is a basic one. Okay? Our amine is a basic one. Therefore, if that is a basic, it could react with our acids. In this example, we have methylamine plus water. Methylamine plus water is a type of acid-base reaction. You might wonder, so how come that methylamine is a type of acid-base reaction? Yes, I agree that methylamine is a base. But is water acid? Yes. Diba sabi natin, yung ating acid carries a partial amount of hydronium ion and partial amount of hydroxide ion. And we said that water is considered as amphoprotic, which means it can serve as an acid or it can serve as a base, depending on the reaction. And in this case, water serves as your acid. Recall of acid-base reaction. We said that acid gives hydrogen and base accepts hydrogen. This is your base. The action of base is to receive hydrogen. The action of acid is to give hydrogen, which will give you your methyl ammonium hydroxide. Okay, CH3, NH3 plus OH negative. Bakit po nagkameron ng positive charge ang ating hydrogen? No? Nagkameron ng positive charge ang ating hydrogen. It is nitrogen. It is because of there is an excess hydrogen attached on it. Okay, which make it as unstable. Remember, the acid-base reaction is a interchangeable reaction. So, ibig sabihin, methyl ammonium plus your hydroxide will give you methylamine and water. If you still remember the pKa and the Ka, it's actually the same thing in the basicity of amines. And it just so happened that this time we are solving for the Kb and the pKb. That is the dissociation constant of base. Before we compute for the dissociation constant of acid. Assuming that the dissociation constant of your amine is 4.37 times 10 raised to negative 4. Therefore, to get the pKb, that will be negative log 4.37 times 10 raised to negative 4. It will give us 3.3 times 3.360. Let's have an example. Later pa pala. Sige, later na lang. Okay, so ito muna. About the basicity of amines. Remember, yung ating amines, meron kang aliphatic, meron kang aromatic, meron kang cyclic, meron kang aliphatic. Take note of this. Aliphatic amines have about the same base strength and slightly stronger than ammonia. Si ammonia, sabi natin ay weak base. That's true with amines. Weak base din naman si amine, right? Kagaya na sinabi natin kanina. However, if we are going to compare the basicity of your ammonia and amines, mas stronger base si aliphatic amines as compared to ammonia. Aside from that, aromatic amines and heterocyclic aromatic amines are considerably weaker bases than aliphatic amine. Ibig sabihin, mas strong ang aliphatic amine compared sa aromatic amine. No? At ito po yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, aliphatic amines are considered weak base in comparison with inorganic bases such as sodium hydroxide. But, no, there's a conjunction but it is a stronger base. No? It is a stronger base if we are going to compare it with other organic compounds. Okay? It is a stronger base in terms of organic compounds. Generally, a weaker base as compared to inorganic bases. Okay? So again, one of the product or one of the reactions of our base is the conjugation. No? Dopamine a base, no? A dopamine a base, and this is its conjugate product, no? A conjugate acid. Bakit siya naging conjugate acid? Nag-accept siya ng hydrogen. No? And this is the major product present in the blood plasma. Ito na. Let's have an example. Assume that amine, and this is the general formula for amine, RNH2, the general formula for amine, no, has a pKa of 3.5 of pKb pala, sorry. pKb of 3.5 dissolved in blood. pH 7.4, okay, and pOH of 6.6. So paano na ko yung 6.6? E di 14 minus 7.4. Remember guys that the normal pH of the blood ranges from 7.35 to 7.45 and an average of 7.40. Okay? Remember, the general equation is your amine, RnH2, plus water will give you your RnH3 plus your hydroxide. Okay? So to get your Kb, that is equivalent to your RnH3, the conjugate, no, times your hydroxide over your amine. And that is actually equivalent to Kb is equals to RnH3 plus over your RnH2. Okay, what will be the Ka of your 3.5? So, paano natin makukuha yon? Okay, on your calculator, please type shift log negative 3.5. Again, on your calculator, please type or encode shift log negative 3.5, and this will give you 3.16, 22, 77, 66 times 10 raised to negative 4. We get the hydronium concentration, so negative shift log negative 6.6, that is equivalent to 2.5, 11, 88, 64, 32 times 10 raised to negative 7. Therefore, we have, this is equivalent to 3.2 times 10 raised to negative 4, and this is equivalent to 2.5 times 10 raised to negative 7. Therefore, we have 3.2 times 10 raised to negative 4 over 2.5 times 10 raised to negative 7. It will give you 1,200. Okay? So yun po, yung ating pKa for this one. Okay, so again, the most common or the most important reaction of your amines is no other than the production of your amine salt. At paano po naging possible ang production ng amine salt? Ibig sabihin, your amine as your base plus acids. Okay? Amine plus your base, amine plus your acid will give you your salt. Okay? Example. This is our norepinephrine, a hormone, a amine. No, plus HCl, ano yung mangyayari? Acid, ano yung mechanism ni acid? The mechanism of the acid will give hydrogen. Ano ang mechanism ni base? Accept the hydrogen. Okay? Plus your chloride ion. Let's have an examples. This is your diethylamine. No? Si diethylamine yan. Sir, bakit po siya naging diethylamine? Ethyl, dalawang ethyl, diethylamine. Again, ano po yung sabi ko sa inyo kanina? Ano po yung pinatatandaan ko sa inyo kanina? In the formation of salt, we are going to change amine to ammonium. we are going to change, I'm sorry, we are going to change pyridine into pyridium. Pyridium pala. We are going to change aniline into anilium to form the acid, the base salt or the amine salt. So ano yung mangyayari? Again, ano ang mechanism ng acid? Magbibigay siya ng hydrogen. At ano yung mangyayari kay base? Tatanggapin niya, it will accept the hydrogen. Bakit po naging 2? Kasi nga, nagdagdag tayo ng nagbigay si base or nagbigay si acid rather. Nagbigay si acid ng hydrogen kay base. Tinanggap ni base. Dahil nandun na siya, no, meron kang partial positive charge kasi excess na siya plus your chloride ion. Ano po ang pangalan nito ngayon? This is your diethyl. Kanina, ang pangalan, diethyl amine. Yung amine, magiging ammonium. This will be now your diethyl ammonium chloride with space. Okay? Diethyl ammonium chloride. Sir, ulit po. Ano ang ginagawa ni acid? Nagbibigay siya ng hydrogen. Ano ang ginagawa ni base? Natanggap siya ng hydrogen. Ito pong ating hydrogen ay magiging excess kay nitrogen kasi meron na siyang 3 na bonds. This is the excess. Kaya mayroong positive charge ang ating nitrogen rather, because of the excess. No? Kaya siya ay naging ammonium plus the word chloride. How about this one? This is now your pyridine. Ay heterocyclic aromatic amine. Ano ang ginagawa nga ulit ni base? Si base will accept hydrogen. Ano ang ginagawa ni acid? Acid will give hydrogen. Ito si acid, acetic acid. Maglulos ng hydrogen, ibibigay kay pyridine, magiging pyridinium. Ano na pong itsura niya? Ganito na ang itsura niya. Okay. Meron siyang hydrogen excess. Plus your, ano po ang product? Ano yung conjugate base ng ating acetic acid? Acetate. No? Ito pala, acetate. The product is pyridinium acetate. At ano pong itsura yun? Okay, that is your amine base. This is your amine salt. This is our amine salt. Okay, and that is the end of our discussion.